Today in Archero 2, I'm going to cover some of the things in the game that I think should be changed. I'm going to try and keep this video pretty short because most importantly, I want to know your thoughts. Do you agree with me? Are there other areas that you would like to see changed? Let's jump straight into it. So the first thing for me then is going to be the amount of things that you can pay for with real money. Now, I am no stranger to spending money on PC games or mobile phone games. I've bought loads of battle passes and all sorts of stuff, be it on Rainbow Six, Apex Legends, Clash Royale, Clash of Clans, Warcraft Rumble. Look, the list goes on and on. I've spent loads and loads of money on all of these games, so I know that that's how they run. So I'm not going to talk about the standard stuff that's in the shop, but I do want to talk about all of the other things that you can pay for because progress in the game can be pretty slow. But for me, it's the sheer amount of offers and the kind of in-your-face nature of the game is that normally games are a little bit less obvious about this, but in this game particularly, I've noticed that this is in your face from the beginning. So a couple of areas that I want to touch on, but like I say, there's going to be others in the game. But firstly, we've got the newbie pack here, which jumps up, so we can spend anything there from £1 to £5 to £15. Okay, that's great. Then we go to the privilege cards, 2 privilege cards that you can get, which for the lifetime, which for me would add up to £40 in the UK, and then there are 4 monthly cards, which would add up to being another £20 every single month. Then we've got the fund. Now on the left hand side, the free to play side, the rewards are okay, I suppose. But then on the right side, we've got the stage 1 being all up for £10, stage 2 for £15, and stage 3 for another £15. And that is just for the chapters. We've also got pretty much the same deal going on over in the Sky Tower Fund as well, where we can spend £10 for stage 1 or £15 for stage 2. So again, that's plenty more. I also just passed Sky Tower floor 275 and immediately was welcomed with a £50 value offer to help with my progress there. Super value 600%. There's quite a lot for us to buy here. The other thing in the shop tab, I'm not going to cover the things lower down in the shop tab, is up at the top here. So every time you do pass a chapter, you will unlock a value pack. But again, these are coming in at £100, £100, and so on and so forth. £50, £100, £100, £50. There is so much stuff to pay for in this game, and I just feel like the kind of core offering of resources and rewards, it just should be a bit better. It just should be a little bit friendlier to the free-to-play player. Now, on the rewards that we get, my second kind of issue, which does link in with the first one, is when we go across here to the Spring Lottery, the current event that's on at the moment, the actual rewards for the core gameplay of this, if we hop into the task center, the challenges here are really, really straightforward. And therefore, the rewards that you get, being 1 key, or further down here, there's one that gives you 2 keys. Wow, kill 1,500 minions. But if you look at the actual wheel of things, that you're really not going to unlock a great deal of anything with like 1 key at a time. So you're going to end up looking potentially at the Spring Fund, where again there is a 1 a day kind of offering here for the 7 days that the event runs for. But to unlock the additional rewards for only a 7-day event, it's going to cost you another £15 to have any meaningful amount of keys. Also, you can go over to the Spring Pack, where there are some free things to be had in here. You can watch an advert, or you can spend 3,000 gems, or you can spend anywhere between £5 and another £100 to get yourself some keys for this event. And like I say, you're really, really not going to unlock a great deal, if not really anything of meaningful value, by just using the standard tasks. So again, I feel like the core offering in the game should be improved. I think there should be more for free-to-play players, and there's just too much, for me, there's just kind of too much behind this paywall. Now you'd argue, look, you don't need to buy these things. Of course you don't need to buy these things. That is absolutely fine. That is up to each individual person. If you do want to buy them, great, and if you don't, then you don't, and you'll progress slower. That's just one of those things with mobile games. But I do think that the core offering should be that little bit more free-to-play friendly. The third thing that I want to talk about is gearing in the game. Now, I do think that gearing, as I've just spoken about, is reasonably slow. Although, you know, there are ways that you can get more gear. There's these up events at the moment that are kind of giving you double gear, double gold, double runes and stuff, which is great. But I think the actual progression system of gear is kind of overly complicated and not necessarily explained within the game. So any new player that comes to this, anyone who's not searching on Discord or on the internet for kind of that mapping of how you fuse different bits of gear together, that I think that this is a little bit complicated. Now, when I say complicated, I'm not saying that this is absolute rocket science, but just looking at the graphic there, and this only goes up to Mythic at the moment. Obviously, we've got Chaos equipment that's in there in various ranks of Mythic, and we're not getting into all that because this, I think this illustrates my point enough at the start. So, yes, that you get, you know, various fine items in the grey background there that turn into commons to rares, rares to epics. But then I think with you having epics and then epic 1 and then epic 2 and you needing kind of one of the same, you need one of the same items to upgrade, but then you can have any other epic item that's within that slot that you can also use to fuse it, to upgrade it. And then you've got legendary 1, 2, 3, and like I say, we've got mythic and so on and so forth. I just think this is a little bit complicated. I think there's a lot of resources required, and by no means am I saying that it should be easy to get hold of legendary gear or even epic gear, and certainly not mythic and chaos. I'm just saying that I think that the progression of the gearing system in this is a little bit complicated, a little bit convoluted. There's just too many stages to it, and I don't think that in-game that this is explained of how people might best fuse their gear together without just using the auto fusion option, which, you know, after a while, the choice, you know, by the time you start getting up to epics, that the choice of what you fuse together is completely up to you. And I think this could be better described and reworked just to be in a better, more friendly state. So that's it. I've probably gone on for a little bit longer than I wanted to, but I'm more interested in your thoughts. What do you think about a lot of the features or a lot of the progression being behind a paywall? What do you think about the events? Do they offer substantial rewards or suitable enough rewards if you're a free-to-play player? What are your thoughts on the gearing system at the moment? Do you just like it as it is? Do you fully understand it? Or would you prefer to see it shortened and a little bit clearer? Anyway, that's the end of that. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.